All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks The Podcast, episode 138. Today on the show, the Iowa Caucuses got exciting. We'll tell you how Vivek ran his course while Ron Desantis continues to botch it. Then, Chris Cuomo is under fire for an inappropriate comment he made to a CNN host. We'll go over that and see if it was really that bad. Then, we tell you why you should never have a seizure in front of Gen Z. Hint, they're not going to help you and they barely see you as a real person. And last but not least, this guy's explanation of why he's afraid of white people will make you think we're out here committing crimes like crazy. All this and more, it's Fleccas Talks The Podcast, episode 138, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
Fleccas Talks The Podcast featuring Richard Bradford.
All right, one for one on the intro. As always, guys, I am very excited to tell you about our brand new sponsor. Have you ever had a conversation with a friend and your phone's nearby, and then a few minutes later you get ads for the exact thing you talked about? Between the government, big tech, and criminals, your mobile privacy is compromised 24/7. In addition to that, we know that the radiation from cell phones can be very harmful, even though tech companies say it's not, and we know how brain-numbing it can be to be on social media all day. That's why you need to detox from your phone today with Silent. Silent is a light, portable Faraday sleeve for your mobile device that protects your privacy, security, and health. Its patented Silent Pocket Faraday technology blocks harmful radiation and all wireless signals, giving you peace of mind that your personal data never ends up in the wrong hands. Go silent today. Go to slnt.com/Fleccas, where you can get 15% off and free shipping on qualified purchases. Guys, as a public figure who is constantly pushing back and challenging the bad guys of the world, I am very happy that Silent exists. I use this thing all the time and it's absolutely fantastic. Get one today. Always a good product to have on deck. Silent is the product. slnt.com/Fleccas is the website. Go there right now. 15% off and free shipping on qualified purchases. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to Silent for sponsoring.
Thank you.
It's important to keep your cell phone packed away sometimes.
I'm learning about it now, but...
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to do it, and I use it, so let that be a testament. We have a lot to cover.
Okay.
How are you feeling, Richard?
I'm feeling great.
Happy to be back in the chair?
I am happy. Our last episode, I was not happy with.
Yeah.
Because it got smoked.
Last episode got smoked because they age restricted it. So you have to be 18 plus. You have to sign into YouTube to watch. So if you guys watched it and want to help us out, make sure you go watch that one again.
We like to tickle the algo, but sometimes the algo fights back. And this algo had hands.
Yeah. This algo knocked me the fuck out. All right. We have a lot to get to.
Well, that worked out because it was one of your least favorite episodes, right?
Yeah. I'm glad no one saw that. All right, we have a lot to get to. Iowa's first thing. The caucus kind of went how we expected, but there are a few X factors. I think Darren Beatty had the most correct take and the take that we share as well.
It said, I fully support President Trump and expect him to clean up decisively in Iowa. I am also extremely impressed with Vivek and view his participation in this race as a massively positive thing for our politics. Vivek will exceed expectations in Iowa, Desantis will embarrass himself further, and the regime will frantically consolidate around neocon Nikki Haley.
Exactly. That's basically what happened. Vivek performing really well just shows that the Republican base wants nothing to do with Nikki Haley. Because they have Trump. Everyone likes Trump. He's the number one guy, obviously. And then who's next up? It's like we already dismissed DeSantis. And they're kind of like, Nikki Haley, right? Yeah, Nikki Haley. She's great. And everyone's like,
Bird brain.
Who else is there?
Yeah.
It's like you're 4 people down the list. Who else is there besides Nikki Haley? So that's good.
She has a lot of Democrat supporters, too. Like Democrats who are crossing the aisle to support Nikki Haley. So that should kind of speak loud enough.
That should let you know what's going on. Because at a certain point, it is the uniparty. It is the bad guys from the Democrats and the bad guys from the Republicans. They can kind of support around.
It's a warmonger life.
Yeah.
You think Iran's going to be untouched if Nikki Haley gets her hands in there?
Oh, she's going to show how tough she is.
Yeah.
How tough a woman leader can be by nuking. So that's something to look forward to. Hopefully not. I like Vivek. I like his energy. There's a clip of him walking on some ice, and he kind of slipped. Look what happens here.
And you know what? Oh, I gotta watch myself walk carefully here.
That was pretty good.
He recovered.
It's good to have reflexes and to be young enough to recover from a slip like that.
Absolutely.
But to be fair, Trump would never walk on ice in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
He would have a team that says, hey, this is ice, don't walk on it. And if he had to walk on ice, he'd have like spiked shoes or something.
Yeah.
So Trump wouldn't make that mistake. But it's good recovery.
That's our political analysis. Trump would never be caught on ice, guys.
Yeah, that's the analysis. It's a good recovery by Vivek, just saying. But yeah, he did a good job with this whole campaign. His number one goal, or I believe the number one goal of Vivek in the beginning, was just to take points away from Desantis and help Trump defeat Desantis in a proxy way.
And I think he did that on all the debate stages. Like, he showed you what somebody could be answering if they weren't beholden to some weird donor who specifically wanted it answered this way.
Exactly, without having to send Trump out there.
Exactly.
So Trump's not going to the debates. Who's going to like speak on the MAGA behalf? It was kind of Vivek in the beginning. Here's where he lost me. Here's where he took it a little too far. We have to check him a little bit. Look at this conversation he had with a Trump supporter in Iowa.
I need your support on Monday. You do this, I'm going to do my part.
Okay, you're picking at my shell. You are.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've got
It's about this country. It's about this country. You want to save Trump, you vote for me. I'm telling you that. You vote for Trump. You're sending
He's
him
a sledgehammer.
No, but you're sending him to his own demise. You're falling into the trap that not only a country's falling in, that he's falling. You want to save Trump, you vote for me. I need your support at the Iowa Caucus.
That's a good argument. That's a good argument.
It's not an argument, it's the truth. Do the right thing for
All right.
Save Trump, vote for me.
In like a quiet conversation. You
Yeah,
didn't know was
whispered tones to an elderly voter. Want to save Trump, vote for me.
So that's a little too sneaky for me.
Yeah.
That's where he loses me a little bit. Didn't have to do that. Shouldn't have done that.
There's also the whole freshness thing. Like, oh, Vivek came from nowhere. He was in pharma, and now he's this, saying all the right things with a track record about this long. It's like, okay, I'm not really up for that.
Yeah.
The saying the right things, it's like, it's good. And I think Cernovich always says Vivek does his reading, which is 100% true. He pays attention to the topics, and he'll even talk about some topics that Trump doesn't necessarily talk about in the culture war. But there's just I wasn't born yesterday salesman nature to this.
Exactly. So that's the take on the Vivek, Nikki Haley situation, Trump situation. We obviously love Trump. We want it to be Trump. It's going to be Trump. We liked Vivek in the beginning, and then he starts to get a little...
He's overstaying his welcome a little bit?
Yeah, and you're talking quietly to the old ladies in the back.
Don't talk quietly to our old ladies, but...
Well, let's move on a little bit. Still in the same Iowa category, DeSantis. You leave it to him to completely botch it. There was a heckler that was interrupting him at one of his events, and look how he handled it.
That's something that would be nice to have in Washington for a change instead of failure theater all the time. Second thing, excuse me, hold on. Excuse me, I'm doing this. Second thing is, I know, but you're interrupting and you're being rude. Everyone else is listening and you're butting in. I don't care. I know you have an agenda. Stop.
How much money have you gotten from
Here we go.
executives?
The second thing we're going to do, second thing we're going to do is, this guy is like, he wants you to pay more for gas, more for energy. He wants rolling blackouts in this country. We're not going to let people like that win. We're going to make sure we're energy independent in this country.
This guy wants rolling blackouts. This heckler wants more taxes. Probably like a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
This guy wants more taxes. He wants rolling blackouts. You know what they say about two people arguing from a distance?
No.
It's called makes you look dumb.
Yeah.
And also, keep in mind, Trump, when he has hecklers, what does he do? He just steps back from the mic.
And he goes, get him out.
And then all the crowd boos the guy, so you can't even hear what the guy's saying, and then security gets him out.
Yeah,
that's how you handle hecklers. You don't debate them in your own event where you have the microphone.
You don't walk on ice, and you don't debate them at your own event.
Yeah, everyone knows that. There was another incident with DeSantis this week where someone said you get the participation trophy. Let that rip.
Nothing's going to stop Real quick, before we get started, thank you, everyone. Governor Desantis, I want to present to you this participation trophy. Now, probably
Casey
not
laughed.
win the election, right? But we're proud of you for trying.
Participation trophy. Sorry, buddy.
No, but, I mean,
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
He's special, he's unique, and he's our little snowflake.
Just absolutely cooked him.
That guy took control of the room.
That was great.
He goes, really quick before we start.
And everyone just yields to him, like, all right, what do we got?
Oh.
And then DeSantis' girlfriend steps up, like, like she's going to defend him or something.
Yeah.
She might need to get physical.
Yeah.
And then he realizes, he's like, well, that's not good. I need to step up and, like, get in between her and him because it'll look like I'm someone who's being protected by his wife. So that's the problem. My number one problem with DeSantis is instead of just doing what you want and being a Chad and just, like, having, you know, imposing your will in the world, he's always, like, thinking. It's like, oh, I can say this so I look like a guy who does that. Or I'll stand like this. That way I appear this way instead of that way. Or maybe I'll say this so I sound like that.
It's not very instinctual. It's kind of like calculated for an end result. Yeah.
Exactly. It's all calculated. It's all PR. It's all think tank Ron.
He should have said, good bit. Good bit. Get out of here,
Yeah,
man.
good bit, buddy. All right, guys, this guy, get him out.
Get him out.
And you could have, like, laughed it off. But then it's like, well, how am I going to look if my own event gets taken over by a thing? Oh, he called me a snowflake. I need to defend myself. And it's like he always has, like, this over-analyzing, like, oh, don't make a weird face. Make sure you look normal. And then he's kind of like,
Yeah.
He's always, like, stuck in his own head based on how it's going to appear to the cameras and to the media instead of just being like, get this guy out.
Yeah.
So constantly analyzing, that's the problem. Someone who's not constantly analyzing, which you all can agree, Joe Biden.
Yo, zero analysis. There's both ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah, so Joe Biden has a new clip where he's sniffing a kid. And keep in mind, Joe Biden probably has 3 rules.
Yeah.
Number 1, stay on your feet. Stay up.
Yep.
Number 2, no sniffing kids. And there's probably a 3rd rule.
And I would say no sniffing kids is actually number 1. And then number 2 is stay on your feet. And then the 3rd rule, that's up to you guys.
It's whatever their actual rules are.
Yeah.
But for someone
No
with
N-word. No accidental N-word.
And for someone who has these rules, he's on the ground a lot.
Yeah.
And he's also sniffing all the kids he can. So
Harry Austin?
I do.
I'm sorry. Was it a lapse in judgment for him not to tell you earlier?
So
body language experts, anybody care to weigh in?
So that's not the best showing from Joe Biden.
Yeah.
But what can you do? It's all made up.
What can you do? Follow the 3 rules, and he doesn't.
Yeah. And then also they're doing the Iowa caucuses last night. Democrats don't need to do it because they have their guy.
We got Joe.
Here he is. With Iowa, everyone's talking about how climate change is making it cold there.
Yeah.
Because global warming makes it cold.
Yeah.
And there was an analysis, some like Muppet on the left, some Dr. Steve.
Dr. Steve Campbell, historian Steve, says your periodic reminder that less ice at the Arctic is consistent with a weaker jet stream that allows cold air to drift down into the Great Plains. The frigid temps you're experiencing happen because of a warming planet, not in spite of it. So he's telling you why it is global warming. And then Mimetic Sisyphus said, it's funny because that exact figure is from an NOAA article that says there's no clear connection. And it says, but while the hypothesis is plausible, Butler says, I don't think there is any convincing evidence of a long-term trend in the polar vortex. So this guy's like, look at the evidence. And it's like, I just read it. There's no clear connection.
And the pamphlet says no clear connection.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, too, with global warming because we're always told by, like, very stupid people that, like, global warming's so bad and it's all human-caused and we have 10 years to live and the climate's constantly changing. And it's like the people that tell us that have, like, purple hair, TikTok brain, and think children can pick their genders.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys are the science expert. We need to change everything, upend society entirely, rebuild all the cars and get rid of gas stoves because this retarded person says that the climate changed because of me.
And then it's like, if you look at us, we're like, guys, please just don't release violent criminals right back out onto the street. That can have a tangible, immediate effect on the quality of your life. And then these guys are like, we need to change the sun right over the next 40 years, tons of taxes. And it's like, God.
We're going to be dead in 10 years. It's like, you're going to be dead right now if you live in Baltimore.
Yeah. If you're like a anti-racist in Baltimore and you don't like pay attention to your surroundings, you might get bludgeoned.
Way worse. Yeah, here's how I like my weather discussed.
Forms of severe weather are going to be possible for us. Now, meantime, at the end of the weekend, folks, these areas that are getting thunderstorms like Texas and Louisiana, they're going to be getting some wintry weather. Check it out. Sunday, especially late Sunday into Sunday night, we're going to be seeing some pretty rough weather move through places like Dallas. Look at that 3-day forecast for Big D. Windy.
All right.
That's good. We get it.
He didn't get one word right.
That's a good bit. I do that a lot to you.
I know.
It's a fun one. It's good to see that bit in the wild.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. All right, Chris Cuomo under some fire after an inappropriate comment he made to a host at CNN. Watch this.
It all began on New Year's Day when I posted a picture of myself looking forward to the new year in a gold sequin bikini on Instagram. Cuomo screenshot the image and said, "Happy New Year, tinsel crotch." Stunned, I read and reread the message a dozen times, trying to understand. If I somehow brought this on myself, since whatever you post on social is fair game, right? I teared up, like now, then the tears flowed. I felt like the safest place I had on a show on CNN had been compromised.
Lighten up.
You posted yourself basically naked with a sequin bikini on an upward shot.
Like the Hitler angle, the dictator angle.
And your crotch is like the focus of it. Like it's an upward shot, and like that's what everyone looks at. And then this is your example. It's not like he saw you changing in the bathroom and was like,
"Yeah,
hey,
take it off.
Nice red underwear today." It's like you posted this on Instagram, and did I ask for this? Did I ask for this? You know, did I ask for it or whatever? Yeah, you did.
You kind of did. You posted a crazy and New Year's crazy. Yeah. And the way I see this is Chris Cuomo is doing like a little light bullying.
Like he's teasing you.
Your friend gets too like narcissistic and in their own head, and it's like, you're posting this upward bikini shot, tinsel crotch shit.
Yeah.
It's like a little light policing, and she's crying about it multiple times.
Yeah, lighten up, toots.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why I like being on the good side. Trump had a similar thing with Sarah Sanders. Sarah Huckabee Sanders says Trump told her to, quote, take one for the team after Kim Jong-un winked at her.
And do you think Trump meant, hey, Sarah, go fuck Kim Jong-un?
It was just a joke.
It's a joke. It lighten up, everybody, right?
And she laughs, and that's a bit, and it's like a high, intense situation that Trump made a joke. Yeah. That's great. You don't have to go, oh, no, Trump wants to prostitute me. I'm the speaker of the whatever.
You don't have to go cry on a podcast about it.
Yeah, I'm being treated like a prostitute. Yeah. I lost my womanhood. Some stupid shit like that. This is why our side's way better. All right, moving on. Make sure you guys tickle the algorithm. Help us juice it. We got smoked, like we said last episode, because of the 18 and over thing. That's
age restriction, and we don't even know what it was. You know,
and I beg them. I say, please tell me what it was, and they don't even tell me. I never spoke to a human at YouTube before, even though we have like 1 million subscribers. So make sure you help us juice the algo. Send us stuff to the PO box.
Chill,
unless it's really good. If it's really good, leave a comment, like the video, notification, stuff like that. All right, and then also, while we got everyone in a casual way, I started smoking cigars.
Oh,
yeah. So I like smoking cigars. Leave us a comment on like recommendations. I like stubby ones that are like this with like a pointy bottom, like a shotgun shell, and you just leave it in the side of your mouth, and you smoke it in that weird glass room off to the side of the kitchen.
Yeah,
and you look in the window and watch the football game. So I've been doing that. I kind of like it. It's a fun little hobby.
Cigars are relaxing. I enjoy a nice cigar as well. And who got you into it?
You did. And I like vanilla tasty. I like vanilla.
You like too
tasty.
much. You like too much flavored shit.
Yeah.
You got to get to some of the classics.
I like the vanilla, and I like the ones where you can just hit it and a lot of smoke comes out. I don't want to feel like I'm, in the passenger seat of the dog park trying to suck so hard.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. It feels like when there's a war coming, and I think this might be the proof. Active duty U.S. Air Force officer crowned 2024 Miss America. Blonde hair, blue eyes, white girl in the Air Force, Miss America. World War III coming soon.
What do you think? They're going to kill her and then we have to rally around it?
No. They're just kind of pretending like, oh, yeah, like our white military. This is great.
Yeah.
I hope we don't need to use it. Oh, we do need to use it? Like they're just trying to like, oh, we love the military. We love all the white guys in the military who are capable.
Yeah, and we didn't cover it last week, but horrific white recruiting numbers for the U.S. military recently dropped like almost 40% or something like that. Yeah. So the jig is up. Turns out treating an entire segment of the population like a huge criminal piece of shit with guilt and past crimes, doesn't really work out to recruit the military. So enjoy your transgenders and your women who can't do pull-ups.
Yeah, exactly. But if there is a blood quota, they might send the illegals over there to do the sacrifice on behalf of the Americans.
Oh,
if there's a globalist Illuminati blood quota.
Nice.
All right.
I'm not going to ask any questions about that.
Let's just move on. We got to keep the pace of the show. Let's go to the guy who controls gravity.
Yeah, this guy's good. I thought this was going to be an uplifting gold, but
yeah, you'd think it would be uplifting, but I had a very wise person tell my friend who told me, always load the front of the show with the gold.
All right.
So if you got good stuff, load the front. All right, that's enough. This guy's just upside down.
yeah, his whole bit is he built a whole set and room, and then he just does shit upside down while the blood rushes to his head long enough for him to get the shot.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you play that? All right, moving on. Air traffic control. This is a woman at the air traffic control area talking to a pilot coming in, and look what they say.
For a short approach, if you're going to do a power off 180, that's my point.
Well, okay, I will remember that from now on, no problem.
Yeah, when you ask for a short approach, I expect you to turn your base to beam the numbers.
All right, this one will be a full stop for 6-5 Charlie, and maybe we need to talk about that some more because you're the first controller in 15 years that's ever said that.
Well, I'm just, if you ask for a short approach is when you turn your base to beam the numbers. If I know you're a student asking for a short approach, I know you're out there practicing and you probably will extend. But if you're doing something other than a short approach, don't ask for a short approach.
Well, I will definitely look up the definition of short approach because I've never seen where it says you turn base or beam the numbers because I don't see how you could possibly do that.
Well, I Googled it, actually. I Googled short approach, and it said to turn your base abeam or before the numbers, and you will land probably...
She Googled it.
Yeah. She Googled it, and you're arguing with air traffic control before you land.
He's like trying to land right now. Makes you wonder, is a woman ref going to ruin the Super Bowl?
Ooh.
That's what I extrapolate from that. I get some info, and if the info is what it is, it's literal. It's just like a air traffic controller woman and a pilot guy. Yeah. But then you grab the top right corner, and you drag, and you extrapolate. A woman ref could ruin the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe 400 people could die in an air-to-air collision. But yeah, the Super Bowl, that's equally important, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If I get killed by a shitty airline DEI thing, that's going to suck so bad. They just get me.
Oh, yeah.
They just undercut me and got me. And I'm exploded and I'm falling to earth dead. And I'll know it was a DEI hire.
It'll be the last thing you think of.
Mm-hmm. I know. After I'm sucked out in the oxygen and I'm...
You're like, oh, no. And, well, hope it doesn't do that because it'll ruin the show.
Yeah, and hopefully the Super Bowl also goes smoothly.
I would be really sad if you died.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Of course.
Good luck.
All right. All seriousness, obviously plane safety has been sacrificed lately. We've been seeing all this DEI stuff, this inclusion stuff. And they have a new one. FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities.
Couldn't just go with mild to moderate intellectual disabilities. Had to go immediately to severe. You need absolute liabilities everywhere in the FAA.
Who's completely off the wall and can't hold down a job? We got plane safety for you.
Hey, severe disabilities are the most underrepresented segment of the federal workforce.
So you get to the thing.
And nobody goes, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Severe intellectual disabilities. I think we should stay away from that. But yeah, it's amazing.
But there is a silver lining. Airplane crashes are now safer than ever.
According to the New York Post. And the picture they use is a pile of burnt rubble.
Where everyone is 100% dead.
I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, man. All right, we have another DEI thing. Delta is now telling their employees to not capitalize the W in white, but to make sure they capitalize the B in black.
Yeah, and race and ethnicity, here's the leaked PowerPoint page, basically. It says, capitalize black and brown in Delta Communications. Unlike black or brown, white should be in lowercase.
Okay, so never fly Delta again.
Yeah, Delta, United's gone. Come on, Southwest, just send us a signal and say we're hiring 50,000 veterans, and you will be the airline.
We'll keep this list updated.
Yeah,
the pilot, the airline list. There's another DEI.
Gonna be flying Spirit at the end of this. You know, the most hated airline, just because they haven't hired severely mentally disabled white people.
Yeah. Let's move on. We're still in the DEI section. King Arthur Baking Company, you know that company that makes the flour?
Mm-hmm.
They're having a baking contest, but it's only for brown and black people.
Yeah, which you have to capitalize, according to Delta. Baking company hosts competition barring white participants. The winner of the competition will be entitled to a $10,000 cash prize, but only those designated as people of color are allowed to compete. And I think they ended up folding, right?
Yeah, something.
They folded and they canceled the competition now because they realized, oh shit, if we just discriminate openly against the majority of the country,
and the majority of bakers too,
then we might be opening ourselves up to a lawsuit. And so I think they canceled it all.
It's like, King Arthur flour, I think you might have gotten bit by the zombie virus. Are you okay? It's like,
no white people.
I'm fine. Black bakers' voices. Diversity and equity. It's like, I think you got bit, buddy.
Yeah.
Kill me. Just kill me. All right, really quick. This is kind of just a side note, unrelated to DEI. This is just a show note.
Right.
138 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. Never sneezed once, either of us.
Wow. That's true.
Can't deny that.
Okay, all right.
I just want to let everyone know. All right, we're on our last page of housekeeping. Well, there's 2 pages left, but we're moving fast. Happy 20th anniversary to NO Explode. If you guys know, you know. Not everyone's going to know this, but this is what we took in high school.
Yeah, that was a golden era of pre-workout supplements.
Yeah, and it was really good. And then it became illegal. And then Jack 3D became the new NO Explode.
Mm-hmm.
Got that in college. That was great. Felt like you're doing...
That still exists, though, right?
It's all gone.
Jacked is gone, too?
Jacked is gone, too.
What's even left?
Nothing. So it's all illegal before everything got woke.
Because of the woke.
Because of LGBT.
Mm-hmm. They stole it.
So 20-year anniversary to when America had it right. That was America in its prime. All right, guys, this next message, this next clip is very important, and it reminds everyone to keep your network and community very close because a lot of people in the cities are retarded, and it's getting worse. Listen to this story about this person who had a seizure in a restaurant and what happened.
So this girl tweets, and it starts off with, seen a girl having a seizure in the gym, and you want to know the first thing this other girl tells me while I get closer to help? Give her space, don't touch her. She was lying in a pool of her own saliva with full body convulsions, and you're telling me to leave her alone? This is why the West is a failed society. A person can be dying in front of them, and they'd be too scared to touch someone. Rats. I held her face up so she could breathe and not lay and spit. I rubbed that girl's back till she stopped convulsing. I wiped her face in the mat of her saliva after she came back to consciousness. I rubbed her hand as I held it, waiting for the paramedics so she didn't feel alone. None of the workers knew what to do. One wanted to give her an electric shock to the heart while she was still breathing perfectly fine. They didn't even say nice things to help her feel better. Manager told me he was glad I was there because he had trouble showing up mentally for this. Saying he couldn't do what I did, which was the bare minimum, by the way. The world is dark. The lack of socialization has made the youth weak in ways you can't imagine. The cowardice stems from a lack of intuition and actual empathy. I did think she could hate me helping her. That did cross my mind, but I helped anyway. To push myself into action, all I did was think, how would I feel if I were in her shoes? Take care of your neighbors.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Everyone else is like, should I zap her? Don't touch her. It's like a movie scene. Like 8 people have different reactions and like there's only one. I mean, this girl didn't even do much. She rubbed her head and took her head out of spit and
you're
shit.
convulsing and someone's got the zapper and it's like, no, don't do that. Don't zap me. Oh, man. All right. Let's move on to our illegal section. We have not crazy updates.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know illegal immigration is worse than ever.
Yeah.
We're seeing it. Cities are overrun. Resources are drained. Billions of dollars spent. Schools closed.
The asylum loophole is how they're just getting into the country and getting a court date. That's 3 years from now.
Yep. They're closing schools so illegals can live in the school. Everyone obviously sees what's going on to the point where they can't just like lie to us anymore.
Yeah.
But that's not what Corinne Jean-Pierre thinks. She thinks she can still lie. Listen to this. Listen to her downplay it and say illegal immigration's down.
Results. So we have seen results in the migration of migrants, right? We've seen a decrease because of the actions that President of Mexico has taken. And so, again, because of these diplomatic conversations, they have been effective. We see them as being effective.
Oh, so illegal immigration is down.
Yeah.
And it's because, and not because there's a wall or because people are stopping.
Because Joe Biden talked to the president of Mexico.
And then they changed the definition of like illegal immigration to migrants or asylum seekers. And then illegal immigration goes down. And then asylum seekers goes like this. And they go, illegal immigration is down. Yeah. And they point to the graph. There was actually a graph that was on Twitter about the use of the term illegal aliens versus migrants over the years.
Yeah.
And you could see it just completely takes off.
Migrants with a straight line up, so that's the PSYOP. I just call them illegals.
Yeah.
And then, Karine Jean-Pierre, she says this. Like, they think you're stupid, that kind of phrase. It's like, they think you're retarded. They think you have a severe mental disability.
Gotta be working at the airport.
Yeah. Like, that's how bad it is to say, like, oh, we're being productive. And then, oh, Joe Biden... Yeah, the guy who started this whole thing, because with Trump, it was, significantly lower. Obviously, the border encounters. It's like, oh, yeah, Joe Biden, he's improving this. It's like your boyfriend, how he used to hit you 10 times a week? Well, now he only hits you 4.
Yeah.
Aren't you happy?
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fixed.
You love him.
Another point, I was talking to my friend Spencer B about this. Another point that he made, which is really, really smart, we're talking about like how the quality of life in cities is going down, crime is going up, no one gets arrested, all these illegals are busting. He was saying that those actions in the cities it'll keep the liberal idiots there who have like an email job or want to live in like the hipster area of the cities, but it's going to make all the conservatives and like conservative-minded people who want to get married and settle down, it'll make them leave the cities and go somewhere more rural. And that happened to him. He lives in Phoenix. And him and his girlfriend are going to move to Nebraska instead of staying in Phoenix. So it's like a Maricopa County vote has now 2 votes have left. And then now they're going to Nebraska. So it's like if you control the cities and ruin the cities, you can kind of still win the Electoral College and control the whole state a lot of times. Pennsylvania's that way. Arizona's that way. So it could be a move not only obviously to get illegals here for voting purposes, but if you decrease the quality of life so much in cities, anyone who thinks like us and you guys that are show watchers, those types are all going to be like, I'm out of here. I don't feel safe in my own city. They're not even going to protect me. They're prioritizing illegals over me. I'm going to move to middle of nowhere, Montana. And then that's good in the short term, but in the long term, now it's easier for them to win the elections.
Yeah.
Because all the like-minded people are out of there.
It's ugly.
There's another situation in Maine where the illegals are getting 2 years of free rent.
And now, free rent for some migrants in Maine. Taxpayers there are footing the bill for new apartments built specifically for these newly arrived border crossers. Not only a free roof over their heads, they have at least, wait for it, 2 years worth of rent paid for.
So 2 years of free rent, and you live in a townhouse that's brand new in Maine.
And you came here, and we don't even know anything about you. But that's good enough to get a free 2-year townhouse.
You think there's not Americans who are struggling or who are having problems keeping their businesses open or who are maybe like, oh, I'm not going to start a family because there's too much economic uncertainty?
Yeah.
You think if someone had free rent for 2 years, they would be like, well, I could save all this money and start a family.
It's the easiest down payment saver ever, and they give it to some random illegal guy.
And it's not even immigrants, it's illegals who came here illegally.
Sick. Makes me sick.
We're fucked, guys. Our government is fully against us.
Maine is like, one of the whitest states there is.
Yeah.
And so it's like white people doing this to just whoever wants to cross the border and their own demise. They're going to pay for their own demise.
Yep. Well, that's it. That's the end of our illegal section.
Yeah.
Our last thing before we move on to Cringe of the Week. I was thinking about the show's tagline. Best new podcast of all time.
Yeah.
That's true.
138 episodes.
But 138 episodes is not very new anymore. So now the show needs a new tagline, but you can't just do any tagline because then you'd have to change it. And then if you have to change it, then you don't have a vision.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a tagline that I was thinking about using. It's not the most humble tagline, but the greatest show on earth.
Like a circus freak.
Yes. And the circuses used to use that, but I don't even think they do circuses anymore.
Yeah.
So they're not using that phrase anymore. That phrase is kind of like, like a trademark. It's like every few years is up for grabs.
Yeah, the greatest show on earth. And it's like you get into a court of law and it's like nobody would actually believe that. Like best pie in the world or something, like a coffee
Barnum
shop.
and Bailey or whatever. Like the circuses, they can't even have a circus anymore.
Yeah.
Because people get offended because of LGBT and woke. And animal rights activists and global warming. Oh, keep a lion locked up? Can't do it. So that phrase is basically fair use.
Up for grabs.
We might grab it. Let us know what you think in the comments or if you have another idea. But episode 138, ranked the greatest show on earth. That's kind of sick.
All right.
We'll have to decide before episode 200. Give us some time.
I wasn't consulted before that. Let it be known, I was not consulted.
You were not. All right, moving on. We are getting into Cringe of the Week. Before we do, make sure you guys join FleccasTalks.com for bonus land. If you love the show and you love me and Richard Ratboy and want to support us and keep this show alive and want 4+ hours of extra bonus content a month, that's how you do it. FleccasTalks.com is the website. It's only $7-something a month. All right, Cringe of the Week. All right, moving on to Cringe of the Week really quick before we get there. I just saw this photo of Trump in Iowa. It looks like he's henchman maxing, guys. Trump is a confirmed show watcher. Thank you, President Trump. We'll take this as an endorsement. All right, first clip of Cringe of the Week. We have a trans cringe section and a regular cringe section. We're going to start on the trans stuff. The trans banana split.
I am finally getting my banana split later this year. I talked to my surgeon on the phone, and this is how he's going to do it. Step 1 is, of course, to split the banana. Inside the banana, we find a small tube of red licorice. You know this tube. It's the one that transports caramel sauce and frosting. We're actually going to shorten this tube, and I will show you why later. Next up, we're going to move our way back to the ice cream bag that is holding the 2 maraschino cherries, and we're going to remove them. I already had mine removed last year, but if I hadn't, they'd be removed now. Next up, we're going to remove the innards from the banana so that it's basically just a hollow tube. Now that we have our tube, we need to flip it inside. Inside will be played by this butternut squash.
Wait. This is a dessert metaphor, and you need to bring a butternut squash into this?
It's not, you can't even get away with a single metaphor. You have to just switch it midway through.
There's the butternut squash.
Oh, and of course the butternut squash. It was okay. It was actually decent.
I was understanding more than most.
Yeah. And that's part of the thing. I think we've discussed this on the show before. Like, they have to do everything in metaphors or like in, allusions to something else, because you can't say, yeah, you cut your cock in half, then you flip it and invert it.
You hollow out your cock.
Your balls, they're gone. Hollow out your cock, put it in your body, split it open.
And that's where the butternut squash comes in.
Yeah.
The butternut squash. What is that? Is that the, okay, let it cook a little bit more.
As you can see, the tube of licorice that we cut is right here. You can see why we wanted it about this short. In order to flip our banana tube inside of the butternut squash, we must first make room in the butternut squash. So let's make some space.
Scrape it out.
There we go. Finally, we can flip our banana tube inside of the butternut squash and let it heal. Healing can take up to a year, but really, I'll be on my
Yeah, we get it. You're fucking up your life.
And then he says at the end, it's very worth it. Maybe.
You don't know.
Probably very worth it.
That's part of the thing with these experimental surgeries that we're seeing now. There's a bunch of people who got it, right, before you. The doctors, they're all firing from the hip experimenting. There's a bunch of people who got it, and then half of them are like, oh, I regret it. There's a poo smell. It's disgusting. I have to dilate every day. It closes up on me.
This ruined my life.
And then there's the other half who are like, oh, this is the best. It was gender affirming. I love it. And I think half of them are actually lying.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're the person doing it, you elect to have this surgery, and then it's just gambling.
Yeah. It's like so necessary. It's very, very worth it. And they promote it.
Yeah.
But there's like a 90% chance it ruins your life.
It's a banana split and a butternut squash.
You know how that could be.
You might kill yourself at the end.
The butternut squash plays into the banana split. You know how that happens.
And so this guy, this Mr. Sir, is what I think we called him at the end. He brought props. He ordered a banana split at a restaurant, and then the wait staff is like watching him film himself, and he pulls out a butternut squash. They're like, "What the fuck's this guy doing?"
Can't bring external food here, sir. He's trying to convince everybody, but he's obviously trying to convince himself.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's very sad. Well, this next person tries to give a gender explanation of what they're up to, and it's kind of confusing.
I want to try to define my gender, but it's really hard in 60 seconds, so I'm going to talk really fast. I'm gender fluid, and here's how that works for me. Most of the time, I'm one of two, modes or mindsets. Most of the time, I am this weird amalgamation of, genders and vibes and essence and just being that I literally cannot define. I don't know. You're just going to have to take my word for it. It's like the universe. It's ever-flowing. There's, sparkles, and it's just it changes over time, and it moves through each other, and it's never one thing. And then other majority of the time I'm just a void. There's nothing there. There's just an absence, and I don't know how else to describe it. So either everything or nothing. Those are the two that I'm usually in. But then every once in a while, and I don't know where it comes from, but I'll just be thrust back into a binary. I'll just be sitting there chilling, enjoying my life, and then all of a sudden I'm a man? Who asked? Or a woman? Since when?
You're just describing being in a good mood. And sometimes you don't have the energy and you're in a bad mood.
Yeah, this girl with a boy's haircut really confused me there.
Yeah, what the hell's this girl with the boy's haircut talking about?
I'm not sure what this young lady with a boy's haircut and stupid rat boy glasses is up to.
Yeah.
The key sentence in all of her spiel is, "You're just going to have to take my word for it." No, I need an explanation. I need to be convinced, That's I think the entire gender ideology is hinged on a good faith person being okay, I will take your word for it.
Yeah, I don't understand this stuff.
Nobody's ever convinced me or been oh yeah, this is I think it was a Matt Walsh thing where he was arguing with some transgender person, and he was like, "How did you know what a woman is?" Or how do you know what a woman feels like? And he's like, women told me. This trans guy is getting sweaty, arguing with Matt Walsh. And it's dude, you don't know what it is. You don't know what the other side is. You're claiming to know the unknown. And these people can't convince me of anything, but you're just going to have to take my word for it.
Yeah. And I'll take your word for it. I'm a reliable source. And you have blue hair and you're
fucked
ambiguous gender person.
Antidepressants, weird pills.
Hey, you can trust me. I work at the airport.
Yeah.
It's oh,
they hired me last week after the severe mental disability crew came in.
Yeah. I helped them hit their quota of completely mentally unstable people that need to work there.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good for that. Let's move on to Johnny Hamcheck video. So if you guys don't know Johnny Hamcheck, he's one of our favorite Instagram accounts to follow. He goes up to people and just has full conversations, and they don't know what he's talking about. So he'll go up to a construction crew and be like, "Hey, I have those 6.5-inch cables. What do you want me to do with them?"
Balboni sent me. Or whatever.
Yeah, Tommy Tough Knuckles and Balboni sent me.
Yeah.
And they're like, and then it's hilarious. So he ran into this guy who is gay, I guess.
Help me out with a small favor real quick?
What's up, man?
Dude, my buddy just got fucking arrested, and I'm trying to round up a few dollars to help him get bailed out tonight, man.
I got no cash. Unless you eat a mouth, I got nothing to help
Buddy,
you with.
you look like a man of means. Can you at least help me out with a couple bucks?
I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't got nothing but offering you a blowjob. That's it.
What?
I ain't got nothing to offer but a blowjob tonight, so.
Bro, I ain't getting down like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I got to offer.
Not Saturday. Dude.
What day then?
Man, what the hell you doing out here in the middle of the night asking strangers that type of shit? You're right. It's it's the same thing. It has a value,
Exactly. I ain't got no cash to help you. I'm sorry.
You might help me out with a small favor at least real quick?
What's up?
There's a pair of fucking Nikes hanging from that fucking sign over there. Right there it says Town Street. And they're I know that they're pretty new, and I think they're 10 and a half, and my cousin Tommy Tough Knuckles is getting out of prison next week. No, seriously.
Unless you want to smoke or a blowjob, I can't help you out tonight. I'm sorry.
Bro, you keep hitting on that motherfucking blowjob shit. Oh, man.
So that's what they're up to.
Bro.
They can't help it. It's all about sucking or getting sucked or sucking somebody else.
A stranger.
Yeah, and he's probably on his way to suck somebody already.
Yeah, or he just came from a suck sesh.
And he can't get enough, and that's what they're doing. And
this is what we mean when we say, like, update your mental model.
Yeah.
You know, like the Biden White House twink who invited 2 guys up to that secure floor in Spain. This guy just immediately offers a blowjob and then keeps bringing it up. We played that for a little too long, but because I wanted to show the last time he brings it up, like he really wants to do
That's
it.
how they fish. They go, I mean, you need help? I only got cigarettes and a mouth. What would you even do with that mouth?
Yeah.
It's like, that's how easy it is with these guys.
The more I learn, the more I update my mental model, and then how the dog got monkeypox starts to make sense.
We now know really easily.
Caught
they
you.
can't stop sucking and fucking each other to a stranger.
We joke about it.
Words. You're 3 words away from a blowjob from this guy in the street.
We joke about it like, oh, they can't stop sucking and fucking each other. And then, like, you get the proof and you get the more evidence, and it's a very grim and dark picture.
And then we make the jokes like the dog park jokes.
This is it right
All
here.
you need is a gay guy at the dog park, and that's true.
Yeah, it immediately becomes true. It's not a bit.
We can see the future. All right, moving on. Let's go to the girl who gets laid off. This girl's getting laid off from her email girl job that's like $70K and does nothing. Yeah. And she's recording it, and watch how it plays out.
Evaluations of 2023 performance. This is where you have not met Cloudflare expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Sure.
So I started August 25th. I've been on a 3-month ramp, and then it was 3 weeks of December, and then a week of Christmas, and then here we are. I have had the highest activity amongst my team. Since I've started, I have had 3 contracts out, done a really great job managing my deals up until the very end that decided not to close last minute. So I don't think that makes a lot of sense for me in my Cloudflare journey here so far. Also, every single one-on-one I've had with my manager, every conversation I've had with him, he has been giving me nothing but I am doing a great job, I have had great activity, I have really great meetings, I'm picking up the products very quickly, and things have been going really, really well. I make really great relationships with my clients. So I disagree that my performance hasn't been, I haven't met performance expectations when I certainly have, just because I haven't closed anything officially.
So
what was that?
So you're arguing your way out of it, lady. This is an HR Zoom firing meeting.
Yeah.
We just really want your laptop back.
Yeah, we're not actually looking for anything constructive here. It's more of a logistics thing, and here's the next steps.
And she also said that she closed 0 deals. So she made 0 sales, started the end of August, so September, October, November, December. And then she goes, well, we had that week off for Christmas, and that screwed things up. But I was really active on the online portal, and I was really good at the meetings.
She sent a lot of emails, and she talked to the clients really well.
But then no one closed the deal.
Nobody bought anything, but
she did really good with her meetings.
She was nice. She was nice.
Really good with her meetings. Yeah. And also she filmed you guys trying to fire me, and I'm going to put it on social media. So I'm actually a bad employee right now.
Yeah.
And also, if you're looking to hire me, this is what I'm willing to do if I think things are going unfair. So I'll do no sales for you, but if you fire me, I'll expose you to the whole social media.
You know what? Imagine at the end of this, the HR people were like, we're here for the explicit reason just to fire you. And you know what? You've talked us out of it. Yeah. Nobody's ever talked their way out of an HR firing meeting. The meeting is scheduled for 15 minutes.
And it's with people you don't even know or meet.
They're hitters.
Just so they can come in and fire you and leave, and there's no explanation. And you have to, if you had asked a question, they can't even answer it. It's on purpose, where it's well, I hear what you're saying. Unfortunately, all I can do is fire you.
Yeah.
I can't hire you. I can't send a message back to your boss. It's either you're fired or that's it. Yeah. So, and you made 0 sales.
HR goes back to their boss it didn't take. She still works here.
She still works here. All right, let's go on to the black female doctor and how hard it is for her.
Must be super oppressed, right?
I'm a black female doctor. Of course I have to smile all the time, or else I'll be seen as mean, rude, and aggressive. I'm a black female doctor. Of course patients think that I'm their nurse, their tech, social worker, housekeeping, maintenance, and personal chef. I'm a Black female doctor. Of course patients want to touch my hair while I'm listening to their heart and lungs. I'm a Black female doctor. Of course I treat every patient equally, even after they requested not to see a Black female doctor.
All right. I'm a Black female doctor. Of course I'm getting sued for medical malpractice.
I'm a Black female doctor. I displaced a handful of white kids who got way better grades than me when I applied to medical school.
Yeah, exactly. Racism's holding her back is like kind of her message, even though right now it's like easier than ever to get ahead as a minority. They're begging you guys to become doctors. They're trying to put you in airplanes that you don't even know how to fly.
Dude, they're doing everything to get you into these positions, and you're also at the end game. You're at the end game.
Yeah.
You went through med school. You did all this stuff. They didn't find a reason to kick you out, and you're at the top. You're the doctor.
Yeah.
And you're going to complain. I'm going to make the video about complaining. Who touched your hair?
Yeah, and your hair's straight. Isn't the whole point of touching your hair is because it's like an afro and you go, wow, I've never seen that before. You have straight hair. What are you talking about? And then exactly, they're at the end game. It's not like she's got great grades, could be a doctor, and they're like, why don't you just be a nurse?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they're trying to downplay it.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. And which you could almost make the argument that it's racist to put a DEI person in a cockpit.
Yeah.
Because it's actually going to threaten their life.
Of course.
It's like, you want me killed?
They die in the crash too. They die in the plane crash too. The pilot doesn't get a free pass. Pilot doesn't eject.
Trying to get her killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a Black billionaire. Of course everyone thinks I'm the butler.
I'm the world's first Black trillionaire. Of course nobody believes it. Like, you could get to the highest level of I'm the president of the moon. Of course nobody believes that I'm something.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's this weird Black people complaining thing where no matter what, they're gonna have some sort of gripe that nobody thinks they should be there or at the top. It's like, who cares? You got $1 billion.
Yeah.
Let's move on, right?
You're the doctor.
Yeah, you're the doctor. I'm sick with cancer. I accidentally brushed past your hair, and then you gave me like this weird look, like you thought I was trying to touch it.
And then if anything,
it's all miscommunications. It's all a comedy of errors. And she's Mr. Magoo, like, oh, that person thought I was the fucking janitor, and then this guy touched my hair. And
it's like miscommunications and assuming the worst motives.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're the doctor? It's like, oh, cool. The last time I was here, it was a different guy. And it's like, oh, you asking if I'm the doctor? You're asking because you think I'm the one who does the cleanup.
Yeah. What happened to Dr. Schwartz?
I just asked a question.
I know.
But anything now is like the worst possible motives. You're asking that because you hate Black people and don't think they could be a doctor.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I just spoke to a different guy last time I was here.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, I don't want to touch your hair. Get away from me.
All right, let's go to another guy kind of doing something similar. He was at Target, and he's cashing in like 20 gift cards, which is a red flag because who has 20 gift cards? What are you, a teacher?
Gift card fraud is like the #1 source of loss that like Target and retailers, everybody steals them. Everybody's got a scam. They send an old grandma to buy gift cards, right? It's like the #1 scam.
#1 scam. So he gets asked a question by the guy who works there, and look how it plays out.
Just explain it. Come on, explain it. I guess you don't have nothing to say now.
Show them your stack of gift cards.
Okay, that's no big deal. I have a stack of gift cards that I have legitimately earned, and now you want to try to imply some. But why do I have to tell you all of this stuff? Why? I come here to make a purchase. I didn't come here to get interrogated as to how I've earned my monies.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I asked one question and you got interrogated. We have a manager coming up.
Okay, yes, and I appreciate that. And I'd like him to explain it. Now, is that a part of your policy and procedure to ask people where they get their monies or their gift cards from?
Sure.
Okay, what section?
8.
Section 8. Can you show it to me?
No.
You can't. So that means you could be making it up as you go along.
For sure.
For sure. You want to use any other derogatory type terms while you're at it?
So the Section 8 joke went right over the guy's head.
Yeah.
Didn't even get that.
I don't even think the kid was trying to make a Section 8 joke. It's just like Section 8. Like that's like the phrase.
Yeah. And then also asking the guy a question about the gift cards, that's racism.
Yeah.
That's keeping him down. Why you got to interrogate me? This is racism. This base Spicoli kid is being racist.
I know. This kid should be catching waves, not working Target. And he also, I'm sure there's like a thing where if someone comes in with more than 4 gift cards, you immediately have a manager handle it. Like they don't even want it in this kid's hands, who's clearly a part-time teenager at Target, you know?
Especially because all the gift cards are the same. It's not like you're a teacher and you got like 10 Target gift cards from your class for Christmas.
I legitimately earned these is a very interesting choice of words, right?
It's like you earn gift cards?
Who?
And there is a scam where you can take money on Cash App and turn them into Target gift cards. Of
course.
So drug dealers do that.
Yeah.
And you have 20 of the same exact gift card. It's like, clearly you're up to something.
Yeah. What are you
But
trying
why
to
you
do?
got to interrogate me? It's racism. It's like, no, I'm not letting you wash your drug money at Target.
Hey, I'd love to see this black doctor try to redeem 40 gift cards at Target. That would be, you might as well make a sitcom.
All right. Don't get too down or too depressed. Moving on to Urban Decay. It's going to get a little worse. Baltimore calendar. There's a Baltimore state-sponsored calendar that they send out to all the people in the state, and they botched it.
A calendar for the next year from the Baltimore City Department of Public Works.
Oh, they missed the 22nd.
A flawed calendar, one riddled with errors, including, look here, the city simply erased October 22nd, but the next month added a day, November 31st.
That's really unfortunate. Yeah, that's they must have somebody's kicking themselves for that one.
Thousands of calendars recently
don't care.
mailed to city taxpayers, including Pat Fisher.
It's a waste of money. It went in the trash can.
And Eric Landers.
Maybe DPW could use a little work.
Who live in the Medfield neighborhood.
The errors, did someone not go over that before they mailed it out?
Yes.
That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. It looks like some of the public school kids got city jobs.
Yeah. Those kids who lost the Chromebooks and can't do math, they're working for the city now. Public Works.
There was a point made online, like the sign of Rome falling at the time was when the newer generations couldn't maintain the old systems.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be like the aqueducts or stuff like that. This is just a calendar. This isn't even like, oh, we don't know how to maintain those systems. You just get a template and you paste it.
Yeah. And I have a feeling this was some like woman who talks loudly on the phone and has nails like out to here. And she was clacking on her keyboard, manually entering every date. And she goes, 21, where was I at? 23.
Yeah.
Just like manual data entry the calendar.
Yeah, reeks of manual data entry. Yeah, exactly. Forgot one.
Oops.
Yeah, so no template used, just how many days in November? 31.
They
You
sing
sure?
the little song.
Yeah, they don't even know the song.
No.
You sure? Yeah. All right, next, let's go to the people harassing the cops in the car. This is pretty good. And these are really quick. You know how everyone says black people are being hunted by the police?
Of course.
And they're not safe, and the cops just want to kill black people?
Mm-hmm.
This proves it. So that's what they do.
You get the point. It goes on for a little while longer of this guy revving his giant car at the police behind him, tailgating him.
And then they do donuts in the park in the middle of the road next to the cop when he finds another cop to go near.
But they're deathly afraid of the police.
Yeah. You made a good point the other day that if you're a black person and you're hyper aware of the police, you're more likely to get paid out by the police for like incorrect arrest or something.
Yeah, racial profiling, roughing the victim, whatever.
You're more likely to get paid out than killed by the cops.
Because we were talking about that, and it's like, oh, how many black people did the police kill? Like street interview type shit during the George Floyd era, and it was like the answer was like 10.
And people said 10,000.
People were like thousands, yeah, crazy numbers. And it's how many settlements do you think police departments gave for like a wrongful arrest or blah blah blah? And
way more than 10.
Way more than 10. So I think you're, and this is loose science, but I think you're more likely to get a payout than get killed by a police officer.
That's a good point. All right, next clip: the ATV in the store.
And that was unarmed. That was unarmed black.
Unarmed, yeah. This next clip is people riding an ATV in the store. Not much to say about it, but it's good to just see what's possible.
It might hit us out on the four-wheeler.
Yeah, the four-wheeler in the Walmart.
Yep.
You know, okay.
Gotham City.
This is like we're teeing up our next clip. This next clip or two are they're like plot points of the whole show.
Okay.
These are important clips. So we had to give those other clips leading up to it. Now let's go to the guy who is asked, the black guy, are you scared of white people?
Are you afraid of white people?
Oh, whoa, whoa. I'm not afraid of white people. I am cautious of white people. I think about water and electricity. Water, necessary for life. Electricity, it's also necessary for life. But I do understand if those two have a negative interaction, it could be lethal.
Dang. Wow.
And so I'm not afraid of white people. I'm just cautious. And I think the beautiful thing of children.
Cautious. Yeah. Not afraid. So, white people must be fighting everybody with low impulse control and losing their shit and riding ATVs in the Walmart.
Yeah, white people must snap like that.
Yeah, white people must be 6.5% of the population and commit 60% of the murders.
Holy shit. Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that a true stat?
That's what white people are doing.
Yeah. And I wonder if this guy has ever crossed the street in any sort of scenario where he saw white people. You know? That's like the true test. Have you ever changed your behavior or done anything? And they found an articulate black guy who has a perfect metaphor teed up, water and electricity.
Yeah.
Shit could get tragic.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it's like most black teenagers don't know that water and electricity don't mix.
Yeah. They get killed. They get electrocuted.
They don't know conductivity. Also, there's a graph here, which we've used here and there. Yeah. But this little blue on the way left, that's white on black crime. So that's what he's scared of.
Yeah,
He's got to be cautious.
Yeah.
And then all the way on the right, black on white crime, that's, I guess, something you have to ignore.
It's 42.3 times.
So 42.3 times more likely to be attacked by a black person if you're a white person. And that's 13% of the population too.
Yeah.
So it's like those numbers are like completely out of whack.
And like the white people just go, oh yeah, like we need to sit back and take his word for it or whatever, you know, like indulge him a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like every data point and every piece of crime and every story we've heard directly contradicts this. But because of this weird fake world we live in, we have to go, yeah, I get it. You're scared of white people.
Yeah, you ever see a group of white people and they all have those ski masks on?
Yeah. Oh, the shiesties.
Oh, that's what big white. And then they have those Glocks with the extended mag, and they go, and they let that thing talk.
Crazy, man.
And then also, do you know that 48% of white women have genital herpes?
That's crazy. That's new to me.
Yeah.
But I know. Whoops. Flip it.
Actually, yeah, 48% of black women or African American women have genital herpes.
Shocking.
According to Grok. The AI from Twitter.
Which he gets his intel from good spots.
Yeah, so I'd be more afraid of that.
Yeah.
If you're this guy with a girlfriend, 1 in 2 chance you're getting genital herpes.
That's right. That's crazy. 1 in 2.
You ever had 4 girlfriends in 5 years?
You ever do a coin toss?
Sounds like you got it, buddy. Let's go to, there's also this clip of a black guy getting stomped out by 20 white guys.
Yeah.
We'll just play that quick. Oh, wait. We must have it all backwards.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we have it all backwards. Well, that's good. They just stomp him out and basically kill him.
Like a pack of animals. They stomp out this white guy. Thankfully, they didn't keep stomping. They easily could have.
They usually do. Let's go to the guy, the Chicago guy.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. This is like a guy doing like a meme about Chicago being violent, and then there's like a rebuttal from the black guy. Let's check it out.
To Chicago, where you know what they say, come for the food and stay because you got shot.
One thing I love about this narrative that conservatives try to push, every Democratic-run city is an open-air gun range, it's crime, everybody's getting shot, is that you can't then turn around and call liberals snowflakes because we live in these cities. You can't have it both ways. You can't turn around and then be the forward, tough Republican. No, you're scared. You just said it. Remember?
Oh, so you guys are tough.
Yeah.
Because you live in shitty neighborhoods and have a violent culture that results in everyone getting murdered or doing drugs or going to jail.
Yeah, you have persistent and endemic gun violence that nobody can seem to solve, even though it's really easy to actually just lock people up and solve that.
And white folks are afraid of that, even though they own like 400 million guns in America.
Yeah. And I'll let this guy in on a little secret. We're calling the leftist freak crybabies, those are the snowflakes. And I don't even say that, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're just the violent criminal group, you know, with the endemic and persistent gun crime that I mentioned. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So there's kind of two groups, and I know the left has both of them working together, but we're individually addressing both of them.
Yeah, and us avoiding certain areas like Baltimore or the south side of Chicago, it's not because we're scared, it's because we're smart.
Yeah.
Why would we go to where there's no law and order and everyone's got an illegal gun and they're like teenagers killing people? Oh, I'm a pussy.
Yeah, and notice that guy is saying that bit while eating deep dish pizza in Chicago.
Yeah.
In a protected, safe tourist area.
That's the bit, but we're pussies. Yeah. You can wrestle me if you want. Yeah. We can find out if that's true. I messaged Vivek Sisyphus about this. A man stands waist deep in raw sewage. A passerby says, dude, that's disgusting. The man says, haha, snowflake, you're not man enough. I mean, and then Vivek Sisyphus also said, in my 25 years of living in St. Louis, I had my car stolen twice, broken into dozens of times, multiple bikes stolen. I've seen several shootings, 2 of which were fatal. I was mugged twice. One time I was walking my dog down the street and a car pulled over, called me a white bitch and threw trash at me. Right now in the rural neighborhood I live in, I forgot to close my garage door with thousands of dollars worth of power tools visible. I was gone for 8 hours and nothing was touched. Have fun standing in shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not tough, Mimetic Sisyphus. You need to have all your shit taken all the time.
Yeah, you need a rough life that you're constantly on edge, and then the same way black communities will play victim to this, being like, you don't know what it's like to be constantly on edge, or like not being able to take your peace and safety for granted. You know, They kind of claim that sort of moral or mental strain, and that's part of the reason that they struggle as well. Have you ever heard that before?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, then don't.
Yeah.
Don't be near it. Don't
weird.
allow it.
I personally avoid Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this we're filming this on Martin Luther King Day. His legacy of streets are not that great.
Yeah,
they're not
MLK Boulevard.
They're not turning out great these days.
Not where you want to be. All right, let's move on to the young rapping kids. Here's some people I'll be afraid of in 10 years, maybe less.
This is what they do before they go to the Baltimore public schools and before they wreck the calendar, right?
It's like, oh, you're afraid of them? And it's like, yeah, because they have guns and they're not even mentally developed.
Yeah, and they have no means of income, and, who knows where they're going to end up.
And they have no parent figures in their life teaching them right and wrong. Yeah, I would be afraid of someone with no impulse control and a weapon who thinks white people are bad. Yeah. Well, let's not get too down or too depressed. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold. Before we do, there was a clip in this from Harlem. This was going viral on Twitter, but it was Harlem in the 1930s. We're just going to play it here in the background. Look at the difference. Everyone's dressed nice. Everyone looks good. And everyone, because I think people, obviously the younger generations have no idea about history or what actually happened or how things work. The parents in the household, church attendance, family units.
Zero welfare to disrupt that family unit or incentivize children out of wedlock.
Yep, exactly. There's a lot to look into there. Jesse Lee Peterson talks about that a lot. Well, don't get too down or too depressed. Moving on to Uplifting Gold. And we put a lot of effort into Uplifting Gold this week. I've been kind of phoning it in last year at least. I kind of just put whatever at the end.
For about 137 episodes, I've been phoning it in.
Yeah, well,
I'm kidding.
Just a little bit last year. This year, I've been on Uplifting Gold and making sure it's good. And this episode is specifically very good. All right, let's go to the first kid who was born in the wrong era. Here's a nice kid who will grow up nice because he's got good parents.
Samaj.
Ma'am.
What are you doing?
Washing dishes. I just taking a picture of me.
I'm not taking a picture of you, but you making a mess. You got water everywhere.
We're gonna show no dog.
I got shoes on, though. What that mean?
So, go there and clean up.
See? Nice kid.
Yeah, I don't like the what that mean.
Yeah, that's not good.
I don't like the what that mean. It is always funny to see a little toddler who's like kind of talking beyond what he can, and then it's almost like he's a half-formed human. So I don't know. I like it, but that what that mean kind of knocked this out of Uplifting Gold for me personally.
Back into urban.
Yeah, let's switch, change the background sec. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
it's a cute kid.
Cute kid doing dishes. Uplifting Gold. All right, let's go to the kid making the raccoon pelt.
Yeah, this is my kind of kid.
This is way better than the other kid. He like talks wrong too.
What you gonna make with that?
This is Dub's coon. I'm gonna make a coon skin cap.
Like your hat?
Yes,
Look at me with your hat.
Well, like tying right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut the legs off of this one and sew it right here, so I have earpieces too.
To keep your ear. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Because you didn't.
And you tie it right, like do a leather strap and tie it right here.
Well, that'd be good. That'll be
And
really.
have like the legs coming down like that.
That'd be really, really warm.
Yes, ma'am.
That's nice, right?
Yeah, gotta have hobbies. I didn't hear many grammatical errors there.
Yeah, the yes man was consistent on both kids. That's good. And the kid's doing something. He got a hobby. He knows about killing animals. He doesn't get sad about that.
Yeah, he just scrapes the pelt and moves on.
Yeah, he built a hat. That's cool. Let's go to the kid whose dad, who he tells his dad that rock and roll is dead.
What'd you say, Chandler?
No, it's not. Do you still want to be my son?
Do you still want to be my son?
That haircut, dude.
Rock and roll is dead music. You still want to be my son?
You do not say that to someone with that hair.
Oh, man. All right, let's move on to the person who detransitioned. This is good.
It says, this is a series of Reddit posts. It says, my mother saw me in my favorite dress and she called me a disappointment. And then this guy posted, Happy Easter to everyone. And it's one of the most horrific looking trans selfies I've ever seen. And then he said, been in detransition for a couple weeks now. And honestly, I feel incredible.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back, brother.
You're always able to come back.
You are. Oh, well,
even if you go too far, you can still come back.
Couple surgeries you don't come back from, though.
Tough.
Let it be known. That banana kumquat, whatever.
You got to get the butternut squash out.
Yeah. Once you get the butternut squash out, there is no coming back. So please.
Don't go too far. But if you went a little far and it's not great, there is a road to redemption. You can come back. Your hormones will come back. There's ways to get back on track and back to normal. Good to see that kid. Looks better as a man, an ugly guy, than like a weird...
Than a very ugly woman. Also, you know, for someone like this, if you made a weird mistake and you transitioned and then now you're trying to detransition and you fucked up your life and you kind of ruined a couple of friend groups or whatever, you can always move to fucking Iowa. You can always move somewhere random, save up a little money and go someplace where nobody knows you.
That's a good point.
And delete a bunch of social media shit, and then you're just all of a sudden you're a guy in Montana or you're in Nebraska.
That's a good point.
You know?
Totally can. Totally doable. All right, let's move on to our last clip of the show. The 101-year-old veteran great-grandfather meeting his great-grandbaby for the first time.
You ready, duty? Yeah.
Great-great-granddaughter.
Great. Wow.
That's crazy. This guy's living.
She's over here to the right.
Look here at me. Look here.
Sweetie, what in the world are you doing? You got the kiss, sweetie. Oh, is it? My goodness alive. Oh, goodness. Oh, isn't she pretty? Oh, baby. Baby.
That's nice.
101 years old.
That's what it's all about.
That's double uplifting gold. He made it to 101, and then he gets to see the baby.
That's really, really good stuff. Well, another Fleccas Talks in the books. Anything you need to say?
No, nothing.
Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleccasMerch.com for the best merch in the game. If you're looking for some t-shirts.
Tickle the algo hard on this one. We're desperate.
Help us with the algo. And if you're watching this late, you are like a dedicated show watcher. Obviously, sign up for bonus land, FleccasTalks.com. But go rewatch the episode before, episode 137, or at least just like put it on and let it play.
Put it on a couple devices. Let it run.
And run some errands. Do what you got to do. Other than that, we will see you guys in Bonus Land. If we don't see you in Bonus Land, we'll see you on Friday.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. He's special, he's unique, and he's our little snowflake.